Hi, great to see you all back to the channel Illuminate. So, as a part of SQL series, this is the third session where we are going to see how to load data from a CSV file in our system, right? So, in the previous session, we had seen what is MySQL interface and how we can create a small database and look into the nitty-gritties of what a database has to offer, right? So let's start with the loading of data. So let me open a new file script. Okay, so for this example, to keep it very simple, what I have done is basically I've created a file. I'll just show you the file. So inside the program data, in the MySQL folder, in the MySQL Server 8.0 uploads, if you see here, I have created a CSV just by giving a name A, right? If you just open this, so here we have created two columns basically. One column with just integers and the second column with variable characters, varchar, right? So these are the two data types that we have created. So there can be many more such columns. It might be a file that you are already using in your organization, and for the purpose of creating or putting the data into the database and then further appending the data to the existing database. All these are possibilities. This is a point where we start. The existing historical data we can just load into MySQL using the current method, right? So this is a file that I've created and I've just saved it and I've closed and kept in this location, uploads here in MySQL Server 8.0 uploads, right? Once you have done with that, then I just create, the first step would be to create a database, whatever database name you want to do. So just we need to create database, give a database name, my new database, right? So this is a database that I'm going to create. I'm just control enter. So I've created the database. So if you see on the right hand side, it might have created a database. See, my new database. So that's done. Now as a next step, we'll have to say use this database that you've created, use my new database. So every time you change the database from say my new database to say example DB or sys or anything that you have, you should always use this syntax in MySQL, use that particular database, right? Control enter. So use my new database is run successfully, executed. Now what you have to do is you have to create, this is one manual step that you have to do, create table, any table. I'm just creating a test table, right? Then so we have two columns, right? You can give any name for the column, say column A, which is an int, and you can give the constraints, not null, primary key, delete on cascade. All those kind of things are possible, but here just to keep it very simple, I'm not using any of those. So just to show you how to load it, B, and then the column B, whatever is the name, now we have to say it is a varchar, right? And you have to mention something like 30 or something. If you mention very small, right, and then the number of characters in your data is more than that, then it will throw you an error, right? So you should be mindful of that. And if column A is int and in the actual data CSV file, if you have any other format of data, then again it will throw an error, right? So you can test with all these kind of scenarios to understand it better, but for now this is a real kind of scenario where you have the data. Now I press control enter, so this table is created. So now we have just refresh this and check whether this table is created. Yeah, so there is a table now, test, which we have created, and there are two columns in this, column A and column B, that I've already created, right? So now comes the step of loading the data from the file. So we say load data in file. So we have data in a file, so in file, and then we'll have to mention the path. So let's open up this uploads part here and then copy the path here, relative path, and then I would paste it over here, right? This will not work. We have to give a backslash basically. That's another thing, so you'll have to change this by backslash, right? Okay, so now this is done. So we have the path to our CSV uploads. In the uploads folder we have a.csv. so this is a file that we have. So this is particularly done. Now where do we want to load? File location we have given into load data in file this location, into table test that we have created, right? And these are some conditions. You can just say what kind of file you're using. Based on that, this may change, so you'll have to look for the exact things. Terminated by, so we are using a comma separated file CSV, that's why this is like this, and then enclosed by, right, then lines terminated. This is the general syntax that we have to use. By, this is every comma separated file is separated by an enter. So for in enter we use /n. So this is enter, right? And this is not a mandatory condition. Ignore one lines. So you can check without this as well. Lines. Right, so we are here now, and then so we close it here and say control enter. There is an error that I see. Let me just check it. Oh, sorry, terminated. Sorry. No. Okay, so let's do a control enter. So let's see, select start from. So you see, so we have loaded the data. So the CSV file that we have created, and we have successfully loaded it into our database. So now we have this. So now you can use this as a database, and this was a short session on loading data into MySQL from an external file. So thank you for watching this particular session, and hope you will be waiting for